AJ Minter has been traded to the Minnesota Twins. Coming back to the New York Mets, we've got Bruin Agbayani, Benny Agbayani's son, and Billy Amick, a first baseman that was in Double-A. We're going to talk about everything going on in the AJ Minter trade, as well as some new rumors that are circulating before we get going into it. Make sure you are subscribed to Mets'd Up. Every single trade that's of any sort of relevance, we're going to cover it over here on the channel, so you're going to want to subscribe. And if you're listening to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, drop us a rating, drop us a review, download, and subscribe. I mean, this was an AJ Minter trade.
Yeah, I'm happy to do this podcast, and I'm very fresh know on this trade. I have not been on Twitter, just did my research on the players. Feels super adequate for 3 months of a reliever who throws like 92 miles an hour.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking about it before because a lot of people online, which I probably shouldn't really be paying too much attention to it, but I am because that's the world that we live in. A lot of people underwhelmed by the package back, being like, we got no big prospects. I don't know what you guys were truthfully expecting. Like you said, for 2 months of a left-handed reliever who throws 92 miles an hour. AJ Minter's good. This is nothing against the quality of the player that he was. But he's like the 19th best, 20th best left-handed reliever in baseball on a rental. I don't really know what people were expecting back, and I do think that it was a pretty fair package back that the Mets got, and I think that there's even some outside upside for what these guys could eventually be. But I understand why on the surface people are underwhelmed. But if you take a deeper look under the hood, you know why this was happening.
Yeah, it's basically just. It's kind of something you've been saying a lot off air that you want from this deadline. Just give me a trait. Give me something that a player is very good at and see if you can do something with it. And between these two players, Bruin Agbayani is the big piece in this deal. He's dealt with some shoulder injuries. He hasn't played much since being drafted in 2025, signed out of high school. Twins took him away from University of Michigan. He just makes an obscene amount of contact.
Yes, and he has good bat speed. His bat speed's above average.
I saw it was very low.
Oh, well, coming out of high school, they said it was above average bat speed. Okay. That's interesting. But also they talked about, I think at the Combine, he flashed a 109 max exit velo as an 18-year-old, so that's something to keep an eye out on too. I think that being a contact plus guy this young is a lot better than when it's a 24-year-old who's a contact plus guy because there's room for development and growth. But yeah, it seems like a contact first player who's going to maybe play second base, maybe shortstop for a little bit, but he's going to need some improvement if he wants to stick there. But he's a contact first bat for a guy that, again, was a 2-month rental.
Yeah, just giving some, again, very, very small samples here of what he's done so far in A-ball. He has a 94% zone contact rate and a 15% whiff rate. Those are both some of the best marks at that entire level. But that's come with literally almost no power whatsoever. Again, not much sample here whatsoever, but that's kind of what this is. And he's a left-handed bat, so at least in terms of player archetype, if you want to look at some kind of, bench piece who can mix in second base and also be a lefty bat, strong side platoon guy, that's at least something that you can see and you can squint in. If a player like this can add strength, get healthy off their shoulder, can maybe dream on being some kind of first division semi-regular.
And I do think that it's worth noting, too, what he's been scouted as in the past, too, especially for a guy who hasn't played very much. So the scouting report is a little bit weird right now because you just haven't seen a lot at the professional level. But coming out of the draft, he was a top 400 player according to Baseball America, which basically puts him in that top 10 round range, which isn't too bad. They said at the Combine he looked pretty good. Has a chance to stick at shortstop, but mostly going to probably move to second base or even the outfield. While he doesn't have one carrying tool, the hand speed's good, the quality of contact's good, line drive hitter. These are things that if the Mets truly believe in their minor league hitting development, especially because he's a big dude, he's 6'2", 185, close to 200 pounds.
Find some power.
Yeah, you could find some power here. And you mentioned the shoulder injury. It's hard to get a lot of power when you come off of a shoulder injury like that at a young age, developing, learning. I like the Agbayani pull. Also cool because his dad, Benny Agbayani. I like that. I like a good story when you trade a nothing for nothing.
And again, there's also 74 plate appearances at low A. He's still 19 years old. So a lot of the story left to right here. And then going to Billy Amick, he played 1 year at Tennessee. Big power, big swing and miss, a right-handed corner guy, so we don't like that kind of player.
Yeah, he's going to play first base.
Yeah, he's going to be a first baseman who hits for power and does tons of swings and misses. The complete opposite of Bruin Agbayani, where is it? Amik's zone contact rate. Amik's zone contact rate, 70% Double-A this year. At the same time, he has 23 home runs, and that's in 86 games, nearly 400 plate appearances. So that's something cool. But he's just gonna swing for the fences and hope something good happens.
Yeah, I think he's flashed some exit velos at 112, which would be above average power. The swing and miss is definitely a concern. And again, he's gonna play what we consider to be a not valuable position when you're evaluating prospects. Being truthfully a first baseman, he's not going to be at third base
As a righty.
But going back to it again, like, he was a top 30 player in the 2024 MLB draft. Obviously, the swing and miss stuff is very concerning when you're looking at him projecting for the future, because if you're swinging and missing this much at AA, it can be a concern of what you would swing and miss at against major league pitching. But I just don't think that there's necessarily this big concern in terms of we traded A.J. Minter for him. I love to see that we got big power potential, and that's something that we're going to have to develop now is more bat to ball.
Yeah, it's the way it works for a seller at the trade deadline. You're not really in a great spot. You don't really get tons for rental relievers. It's just the nature of the beast here. So to get anything with mild intrigue, and also Amik he was drafted, I have it right here, out of Tennessee. It was the second round, 60th overall pick. He signed for the complete slot value of that pick. Like, it's guys you're adding to a minor league system that if one of them reaches the majors and gives you big contribution, you're like, sick.
Yeah, and also, like, this is going to be a like really, really crazy conversation now to have about the future, but like, you got to fill up your farm system with more capable players, and right now the bottom of the Mets system is super, super weak. There's a big gap right now. Even
the bottom is strong. The middle is weak.
Well, the bottom's not really that strong either. I think the middle's stronger than it is the bottom, because you look at the bottom of the Mets farm system right now, and it's like Marco Vargas, Cam Tilley, Antonio Jimenez. It's a lot of
I like Tilley. When you're saying bottom, I'm thinking like the DSL guys. So those are the only guys flashing in our system right now.
No, I'm not talking about like in terms of age. I'm talking about in terms of like rankings across the publications. Like from 20 to 30, it's very, very, very open.
All right, yeah, different conversation there. Yeah, which is, again, that's just something that has not clicked over the last few years, which is a shame.
If the Mets ever become a good baseball team again, these are guys that could be on the move to go get A.J. Minters of the future to help us win games.
The next year, if we are good enough to want an A.J. Minter, theoretically, we could possibly get an A.J. Minter.
Yeah, for nothing.
And last year we did this, and this offseason we did this, so we traded away a lot of those guys who you trade for A.J. Minters.
Yeah, it's
Jesus
just like
Baez, Frank Elisalt, like what was the guy from Harvard? We keep forgetting that guy's name.
Truman Pauly.
Truman Pauly. These are the guys you trade to get your A.J. Minters, your Luis Roberts, your guys that you add to a contending team. That's just nature of the business. We also have Underdog MLB citing Michael Marino.
Oh, really? Shout out our boy Mike. What'd they cite him with?
Freddie Peralta for George Walkow as a proposed rumor.
Okay. I mean, I like Walkow. He's got, talk about a dude who has legit power. Walkow's got major power. I think he got like a 60 or 70 grade coming out of the draft. Also, I'm biased because he was committed to the University of South Carolina, so I always love to see that.
That name sounds like someone that'd be on the Gamecock baseball team.
But he's an Illinois boy through and through.
80 grade raw power.
Yeah, that's sick. Right now he has 60 grade power. That's awesome.
He's still striking out 32% of the time in high A. Probably. I'd still shoot higher for Freddie.
I think that they're gonna get higher for Freddie too. I think another one of the rumors that came out about Freddie Peralta over the last few hours is that the Mets are looking for a top 100 prospect and another piece as well.
That's exactly what we've been saying months now. I think that that's nice that the reporters out there, possibly this is all smokescreen stuff just for the Mets to put that price out there, but it does seem like the Mets are going to get a lot more for Freddie Peralta than a lot of us Mets fans might think, which is nice because he's
a playoff pitcher.
He's still our best asset.
He's definitely our best asset. There's no doubt about it. Especially,
you just want something for your best trade asset.
Yeah, we're seeing what rental relievers are getting. It's not going to ever be particularly much, and the Mets don't have the elite rental reliever. They've got Luke Weaver, who's going to be the best one that is available, but because of the money, you probably aren't going to still get those top prospects that Mets fans are hoping for. That's one thing that I see, like the conversation about the returns back, like, guys, you got to know that it's not going to be getting the next great Mets outfielder or starting pitcher on the market this year. You're hoping that's for Freddie, maybe Clay Holmes.
Possibly. And it's also the kind of thing, like we've talked about a lot, like the Mets, really good chance to leave this trade deadline without acquiring a single top 100 prospect.
It's very possible.
But it's the kind of thing where, like, hopefully by next July, you look at, like, the 7 prospects the Mets got. You're like, oh, 3 of these guys actually are sneaking to the back of the top 100.
And I think looking at what the Mets have done with their farm system over the last few years, even a guy like A.J. Ewing, who when he came into the system, he was not a top 100 guy. He just started to flash in the bottom top 100 last year. Like,
Nolan McLean, same.
Things can change very, very quickly. And if the Mets do believe in the process that they have in the farm system, which has proven itself to be pretty good so far, get us guys, get us pieces, get us more people in there. And I'm thinking that by them trading and identifying and being able to handpick the guys that they want, they see a vision with them.
It's also kind of like, again, remember when we were in this spot last season as buyers rather than sellers, and we made a trade of Jose Butto, Blade Tidwell, and Drew Gilbert for Tyler Rogers, who still since then has been one of the best relievers in all baseball in terms of effectiveness. And people like the Mets got fleeced, and all three of those guys are contributing very little at the major league level.
They're honestly, 3 of them are DFA candidates.
Yes, literally. So again, it's just when you're in this spot as the seller, it's a little bit more difficult to recoup value. The buyer wins a trade deadline deal, except for my friend Zach Scott, 80% of the time.
Your buddy Zach Scott does not like
Zach
you anymore.
Scott, no, we'll talk about that in a second here. But that's just what it is. So you have to try and get something that you think can grow into something. You're not going to get. I don't know. Did you guys do mercantilism when you were doing AP US history?
I did. I was AP US history.
Listen, you're not getting finished products when you're making trades for relatively not valuable assets and rental relievers. You have to get something that you can figure out some way around to develop, to grow. And 18 months from now, you're like, oh, Bruin Agbayani's flashing at AA. That's the goal. I want to say that sentence on this podcast by the end of next season.
Yeah, that'd be great. Be like, ooh, a top 200 prospect, Bruin Agbayani, amazing.
Yeah, be like, Bruin Agbayani might actually have enough to mix in at the major league level in 2028.
Which would be great.
And who would we trade for him? Oh, yeah, it was AJ Minter. Oh, yeah, that was cool that the Twins missed the playoffs by a game, 2 games with him.
Yeah, and then Billy Amick, AAA, has 30 homers. Sure, call him up, see what's going on, see if he can be hot for a couple weeks.
Maybe we can get a reliever for Billy Amick this offseason, something like that.
Yeah, why not? I think that the process is good right now from the trades that we have seen. We're obviously going to see a lot more. Might even be back later today to talk about some trades because I have a feeling Freddie Peralta is going to be traded today.
I don't want him to start tonight.
He should not be starting tonight. I still can't even believe it.
I have that, but again, you're just not going to get monster returns for 3 months of a non-elite reliever.
No, and I'm going to prepare you guys too. Brooks Raley, it's going to be similar-ish.
Yeah, unless we can package Brooks Raley together with Freddie Peralta, which is what I've advocated for that this entire deadline coming through. And it does feel like there's more steam around packaging Luke Weaver with Clay Holmes together to get a near fringy, borderline top 100 prospect kind of guy.
That's how the Mets should operate, I think. I don't know. At the end of the day, we're not going to talk too much more about this because it's an AJ Minter trade. But you guys are sickos listening to us, so we love you.
Yeah, and again, quick 15-minute in and out, help you guys do the workday. I wanted to say the Zack Scott tweet really fast.
Yeah, sure. So, in case you guys didn't know, James and Zack Scott getting into it a little bit.
Kind of. So we shouted out Noah Dangler. He's a Mets fan, lives in the city. He's doing sabermetric stuff, and he had a good tweet that we literally read out in the podcast last week about the combined war of all the Mets' bad players and how much money they're making.
Yes.
Polanco, Simeon, Sanga, the whole squad. And then Dangler's tweet was tweeting out about how upset he still was about the PCA Javi Baez trade, which that was a funny moment for us too, because I remember on camera I was freaking out.
We were not happy because we saw we got Javier Baez. We're like, ooh, and then we're like, please don't be PCA. And then the news came through, and someone's going to tweet us the clip. I know someone has it right now, so please tweet it out if you can so we could use it. But we traded PCA? No, why did we do that? Holy shit, we were right.
Yeah, so then I responded to Noah because he was like, how did this trade happen? What was Zack Scott thinking? And I said on, late night on Thursday, finishing up my work on Thursday morning, Wednesday night, he talks about a new podcast every month. You'll get an answer soon. That was kind of funny, a little tongue in cheek.
I think it's one of those where Zack Scott, if you are listening to this, I don't think there was any malice meant behind it. I think it's and you should be able to laugh about that, at this point.
It also was really ironically funny that day he went on Salicata's podcast.
Yes.
And talked about this trade and many other trades because he had a fruitful career as an executive.
We had Zack Scott on ours, and he talked about it too. This is what everybody wants to talk to him about because this is objectively one of the worst trades of the last 5 years.
Yes, and it's a shame that becomes the lasting image of a guy who did have a fruitful career in baseball front offices, successful front offices, and he responds to me, don't be a sarcastic prick to people who ggave your pod their time. Fair.
I think
so
that's fair.
But such a fair response.
But also at the same time, I gotta have a little thicker skin than that. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me feel bad. Is Zack Scott name searching this? Is he really in the depths here? Because he doesn't follow me. I don't follow him.
Yeah, I don't think you're I'm so sorry, Zack Scott.
No,
I didn't mean to offend
all.
you, but also at the same time, you're I wish you didn't take it personally. It wasn't meant to be a personal shot.
It's more of I'd be upset if this made you feel bad because this is now his lasting image and that sucks.
Yes, that sucks. So Zack Scott, formal apology.
Yeah, apologies. I was a sarcastic prick. Sometimes I can be a sarcastic prick. It happens.
But it wasn't meant to be that way. But anyways, that's all we got for you. Quick little 15 minutes here on Mets'd. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're subscribed for all the trade deadline news that's going to be coming out over the next few days. You can follow James on social media at
James Shiano.
Maybe you'll catch one of his next sarcastic tweets. You can follow me at DraftNickMark. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Go Mets.